a bit of an emotional night last night when I was in the bathtub as usual with my daughter, and I went to nurse her as I usually would to get her a little bit more sleepy and start preparing her for bedtime, and I wasn't producing any milk. To give you a little bit of background in case you don't know, my daughter is 10 months old and we have been breastfeeding on demand for 9 months now. We had a little bit of a struggle in the beginning of her life, but we got past that and it's been pretty smooth sailing since then. I will leave my first video on breastfeeding in the description box in case you'd like to catch up or hear about my journey from transitioning my baby from a bottle to breastfeeding and the different struggles we went through. Going back to last night, so I could tell that I wasn't producing any milk because of the way she was looking at me, and that is definitely what triggered my emotions, because that is one of the things that I cherish the most about our time nursing is the look in her eyes that she would have every time she would look up at me, like I was her whole world and she was my whole world, and that bond of togetherness that you will only have when you are nursing your child. But yeah, the look she gave me when she couldn't get any milk was different than any that I've seen before, and it just like really tugged on my heartstrings. So last night I got really emotional and I actually ended up searching, I guess I was searching for support or somebody to relate to that was going through or had gone through similar feelings when their baby was starting to wean. I found a lot of lengthy articles and they were pretty much inclusive of some moms who were ready for their freedom back and others that went into a deep depression. So that really didn't help. It was a little bit like when, say, your pinky toe hurts. So you Google, why does my pinky toe hurt? And all of a sudden you have all of these medical issues. So that is what triggered me to do this video. So when I woke up this morning and I had a little bit more of a clear mind and I was more settled in my emotions, I wanted to make this video in case somebody out there is like me searching for that support or somebody to relate to. A couple of days ago, I posted my first video on baby-led weaning, which is a subject that I'm really passionate about. I'll also leave that video in the description box. I think the name of that method of food introductory is a little bit confusing because although you are introducing foods and solids and maybe dropping a nursing session here or there, your baby is not going to stop nursing altogether. When I began Ella in her solid foods, I had a moment there after a few weeks where I selfishly didn't want to feed her those real solid foods, even though she was enjoying them and doing really well with them. But I almost didn't want to lose that responsibility of being the only nourishment that she was receiving. I know that sounds really selfish, but it is something that I had to deal with, and that was a few months ago. Now she is doing so well with her solid foods. She eats 2 pretty big meals a day and then snacks a little bit here and there. But up until a few weeks ago, she was nursing like all night long. We would be up 4 or 5 times a night, and she was co-sleeping with me. I know that's controversial, but she was. And I could tell that it was more for comfort. And she wasn't actually hungry. So she was kind of just like halfway waking up and then reaching for me and searching for that bond and that comfort level that we have with each other when we are nursing. Although I was really tired and a little bit irritable because of my lack of sleep, I was craving that bond and closeness with her as well. So I really didn't mind, and I wasn't in any rush to transfer her from my bed to her crib. At this point, we were only nursing probably 1 or 2 times throughout the day, but like I said, all night long, she would be nursing. And then one night I was putting her to sleep as I usually would, and she was just thrashing around in my arms. She could not get comfortable, and I needed a moment to myself to take a few deep breaths. So I laid her in her crib and walked out of her bedroom, and within 30 seconds, she was sound asleep. So that was about 2 weeks ago, and she has been consistently in her room, in her crib, around the same time of night and sleeps all the way through the night until about 8 o'clock in the morning. So this is definitely a great thing. She is so much more energetic throughout the day, and I can tell she's really happy to have her own space and her own time to herself. I, on the other hand, I was up more than I was when she was nursing from me. I was constantly checking on her through her monitor. I would go in and out of her room at least 3 times a night. It was really difficult for me to actually allow myself to fall asleep because I was so used to having her right next to me. And I don't think I've been fully asleep since I've had her really, just because she has been next to me. So I've been aware of her physical being as I'm sleeping. And then as she transitioned it to her crib, I was so worried about her that I wasn't sleeping even more so. About a week went by of her sleeping soundly in her crib every night, and I finally started to accept it a little bit more, and I've been getting a little bit of sleep, so that's been really nice. It's allowed me to give more to her throughout the day, more energy and attention, and yeah, it's been a really good thing. But along with that, now we are only nursing about 3 times within a 24-hour period. First thing in the morning when she wakes up, I'll nurse her, and I think that is when she's getting the bulk of her nutrients and when she's actually consuming milk. Then in the middle of the day, around 1 or 2 o'clock, I will nurse her, and I know that she's not actually taking any milk. She's just using it for comfort to fall asleep. And then again, I nurse her once before bed. So that has really lessened our time together and the amount of supply that I need for her. It has definitely been difficult. It's been a really difficult transition for me, and it's almost like I'm mourning the loss of the bond that her and I shared when she was a tiny little infant. So in that moment, after she gave me that look, she wasn't getting any milk from me, I really started second guessing everything that we had been through. I was feeling like I had taken advantage of some of our moments together, either if that was on my phone, like behind her head while she was looking at me, or if I was watching the television, and that is such a terrible feeling. So that is a piece of advice I would share to any moms out there, is to not take advantage of those times. I definitely didn't do that all of the time, and I'm just being really hard on myself, but that definitely tugs my heartstrings, knowing that I gave up those opportunities. One useful bit of information I received last night Googling was that prolactin and oxytocin, I don't know if I'm saying that right, are released when you are breastfeeding. So those are both like love hormones, happy hormones, they make you feel good. And then on the other hand, when you stop breastfeeding, your estrogen and progesterone increase. So your hormones are definitely going to affect your mood. It's not that you're going crazy, so it's definitely a chemical situation as well. So that gave me a little bit of peace of mind and made me feel like I'm a little bit less crazy. I found more peace with the sadness and loss that I was feeling when I shifted my thoughts from feeling like I took advantage of some of the moments that we could have shared together, and knowing that it's coming to an end soon, from feeling really lucky that I was even able to have this bond and connection with her in the first place. I know a lot of moms out there aren't able to breastfeed, and then even more amount of moms might breastfeed for 2 or 3 months and then they have to go back to work and they're not able to. So I am so grateful that I was given the opportunity to have this bond with her, and that really slowed me down and made me feel more grateful and appreciative than sad. So I know I have a long journey ahead of me, especially when we are completely weaned. That's going to be really difficult. So I will do another update video after we are fully weaned if you're interested in that. And if you have any experience with this or you're feeling the same way, then please reach out to me either on Instagram. I will leave my name in the description box, or leave me a comment so we can chat and hopefully make each other feel better about it. But I think that is all that I am going to chat about today. I hope that you enjoyed the video at least. Thank you for watching. We are in the middle of Vlogtober right now, so I'm posting a new video 5 days a week for the entire month of October. So if you'd like to see more from me, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can keep up on all of those videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.